Limbo is a puzzle platformer in which you control a boy as he traverses side-scrolling landscapes, solves obstacle puzzles that get continuously harder to solve, and you do indeed kill the occasional people, but not by the normal means of shooting people or stabbing them. Use your wits to get them. This game is rendered in black and white, and the graphics are presented in a 2D side view silhouette. This game is up there, I want to say, with in terms of puzzle solving, up there with Tomb Raider and Uncharted. It's the game itself is shaped around this puzzle solving 2D platformer, and they do a fantastic job with that. They nail it straight on the head. Props to the developers on that. It's very, very good, and towards the end of the game, it gets extremely challenging and quite rage-inducing if you're not ready for it. But, it's fun to play as you go through no matter what. So, I accept the challenge, and I think it's a good little bit to have in here. In terms of gameplay, there's one thing that I need to stress, and that this is a studio that does not hold your hand. They made this game. They don't tell you the controls. They don't tell you the story. They literally go and just send you free. Nothing else is there. Which normally I would consider to be a bad thing, because some games are really complicated, and if they don't teach you correctly, then you're not going to know. But let me tell you how simple these controls are. Analog stick and or D-pad to move. X jump. Circle and or square is to push and pull an object. It is that simple. You walk into this game, and if you're thinking anything other than what I'm about to say, then you're not going to get the game that you want. This game is a very much so, you die, you try again, learn from your mistakes. Good game. That is literally the cutout version of what this game is, and I think that was what the studio wanted this to do, and they nailed it right on the head. This game is very, very fun. It's very, very challenging, but let me tell you, man, the feeling that you get when you finally figure out, oh, I was just supposed to move this crate back over to this rope, then I can climb up, and oh, sure enough, now I'm going to knock this whole entire tree branch over and get right across that thing, no problem. This is that feeling that this game, is meant to give you, and they do such a great job with it. It's so good. The movement mechanics are flawless. Every now and again you might miss a jump, or you might fall too far. There's fall damage in the game, and that takes a very big effect. But like I said, fantastic game for what they made and what they wanted it to make. Great movement controls, and the side-scrolling platformer that this is spectacular. It absolutely blows my mind. It's that great. In regards to the score or music that the game has, very little. There's not much of a music score from what I can recall, and I just played it. It's a very quiet game. It is lit, and it flashes this black and white kind of eerie tone giver is what it makes you feel like, but there's very little music to this game. It is you hear like crickets going off in the distance. You can hear rustling in the bushes, breaking of branches. You hear rocks kind of rolling down. It's a very quiet game, and I think that's what makes this game so good. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like even if they had some of the best soundtrack, that any game has, I still feel like it would just hurt what this game is. And that's because it would take you out of, this kind of spooky feel that this game is creating. And let me tell you, this game is pretty spooky. There's no jump scares or anything like that, but just the eerie tone and what all you see and go through definitely just give it this extra feel of creepy, to say the least. The name of the game is Limbo after all. So, there's that. Before I give this game its final verdict, I want to let you guys know on a couple of other little thingies that I couldn't really put on put into any of those segments. Extra little problems or pluses that I felt the game had include, and probably one of the biggest things that hurt this game the most is that the puzzles, as you see right now, they just get really random. There's no explanation for how they come to be. A lot of the beginning chapter parts of this game were taking place in the forest, I'm sorry. And it all made sense. You needed to use this log in order to get over that water. But towards the end of the game, you get out of the woods and you get into this industrial kind of factory type of deal, and it just, I don't know what it is, but I feel like the last couple puzzles in this game, probably the last, depending on how many times you die, probably about 30 minutes of gameplay, it's a grind to get through, and it definitely got me pretty mad several times. And just a heads up on that, things get very difficult very quickly, and without notice whatsoever. They just drop the hard ball, and that is it. Also, what you see on screen right here is one of the coolest things that I think this game has, and it definitely it kind of recovers what the difficulty of the puzzles surprise you with. It definitely recovers a little bit about that, because this is awesome. This is a level selection for a game that's this long, and it's perfect. It's great. And I just wanted to point that out, because I think that whoever's idea that was, shout out to you. You guys are awesome. So all in all, to wrap things up for this review, I think that this game is a fantastic game. I think that it's got such a great creepy tone to it that just it sells the feel that the game needs. The controls are super duper easy to use, and for a first time kind of pick up and go, it was extremely easy. There was no hand holding, and that menu is flawless, and it is great. However, there's no such thing as a 100% perfect game. This one lacks a story. They could have at least given us some kind of a setup, some kind of a reason for why he's stuck in limbo, something, and it just wasn't there, so it kind of felt like a disconnection. And then the final puzzles are both extremely hard, as well as they feel out of place, and they don't really make sense. So I give Limbo, for its final score, an 8.5 out of 10. That is a great game. Definitely go pick it up, seeing as though it's one of PlayStation Plus's free games for the month of August. And that, with a score like that, it's a great time. You might get extremely frustrated, but you know what? You feel so accomplished when you finally get it, and it's a great game. And the menu makes things really want me to. The menu, I don't know what it is, but the menu really makes me want to come back to that game. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next review.